Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamila Mizik. An audit into the Education Loan Authority found that in June 2017, the authority's loans receivable net provision of $16,336,710 amounted to $60,507,578, of which $51,384,289 was over 90 days in arrears. The report revealed that the authority was unable to obtain the necessary historical default rates in its loan receivable portfolio. It also found that repayments of loans receivable by students in the current and subsequent years have not been sufficient to meet the authority's obligations in relation to the loan commitments and operating expenses. The report also noted that loans in default where students have been delinquent in their monthly payments for more than 3 months amounted to $67,720,999 compared to the $81,334,161 in 2016. During the year, the authority wrote off bad debts amounting to $1,861,065, representing 70% of the current principal and interest pertaining to accounts settled in relation to the incentive program. Further, the authority recorded a reversal of provision for impairments amounting to $1,173,823 pertaining to penalties and late fees. In total, loans settled including interest and penalties in relation to the incentive program amounted to $3,034,888. Total administration fees for the year amounted to $165,419 compared to the $169,726 in 2016, and administration fees payable amounted to $250,000 compared to the $84,770 the year before. Bond interest incurred by the authority during the year amounted to $3,222,767, of which $1,063,740 was outstanding. According to the report, prior to July 2007, the Ministry of Finance advanced $2 million to the authority. The advance bore interest, however, effective July 1, 2007, the amount due to the Ministry of Finance totaling $2,900,000 was converted to contributed surplus pursuant to instructions from the Ministry of Finance. The audit was conducted by Grant Thornton, Bahamas. In news from Parliament this evening, a shift in the housing policy. For the first time, homeowners will be able to construct a split-level single-family home in a government subdivision. The Affordable Housing Initiative also now calls for homeowners to be energy efficient.
As a result, each homeowner is expected to install a solar water heater or a minimum of a 2 kW photovoltaic solar system that is required to be registered with the Renewable Energy Generation Program at Bahamas Power and Light.
That's Housing Minister Ramal Ferreira taking the lead this morning on a debate on a land resolution that seeks the House of Assembly's approval for the conveyance of 1.267 acres in the Fox Hill community for a nominal sum of $10. The property is to be developed for the sale of service lots to the first-time owners. The 10-lot subdivision, which lies on the southern side of Romer Street and the western side of Ambrister Street, will bear the name of former Fox Hill MP and a founding member of the modern-day Fox Hill Festival, Lionel Davis, and according to the minister, are ready for sale.
After purchasing one of these lots, the Access to Affordable Homes Act 2018 gives the Bahamian landowner the right to apply to the Ministry of Finance for exemptions from customs duties and excise tax on all materials necessary to construct a single-family dwelling home. Mr. Speaker, I wish to put the general public on notice that we expect these lots to move quickly. As a matter of fact, we have a list of persons already waiting to purchase them.
Service lot owners can either use their own contractor and architect or use a pre-existing housing plans the government offers. Such lots have been sold in Sunset Close for under $20,000 to police, defense, and customs officers, nurses, and teachers. Minister Ferrera noted in a release that the lots in the Lionel Davis subdivision will be sold for a similar price. Following the Carmichael Village subdivision, the government intends to provide service lots in the Family Islands.
In Abaco, surveying works are being carried out for the extension of the Central Pines subdivision, where an additional 60 residential service lots are being prepared for sale later this year. That's 60, Mr. Speaker, and that's in Abaco. Mr. Speaker, an occupational survey is being carried out in Crossing Rock, which is expected to be completed at the end of this month.
Well, the opposition's policy position is that, for the most part, the service lots will not help the country's larger housing crisis, whereby Bahamians are unable to finance the construction of homes.
That is why the government in the housing and construction business, that is why the government is in the housing and construction business for the most part under the PLP, because it knows it's more cheaper, more efficient, and therefore the prices that would allow, this prices and this structure would allow for single mothers in particular to be able to afford a home.
Mangrove Key, South and Central Andros MP Picewell Forbes further noted the high density of Fox Hill's population coupled with its narrow roads.
Question as to whether or not the attendant traffic problems and additional population density in the area will be conducive to peace and good order in that community, which already has challenges in keeping the peace in everyday life. Not also that the Sugarman Estate down the street, which also was not developed. The PLP in its last months in office, after years of negotiations with the residents who were in traditional occupation of the land, gave title to the people of Fox Hill who were in actual occupation of the land and paved the road leading to the estate.
The PLP MP further expressed hope that Fox Hillians be given first preference to the land. Meantime, the Democratic National Alliance has no empathy for the Minnis administration. In fact, it's petitioning the government to get its act together and implement an articulated economic growth plan. It's either that or vacate office. The call comes in the face of an uptick in the country's jobless rate from 10% in May to 10.7% in November 2018, with women leading the way. According to DNA Deputy Leader Arinthia Komalafe, these results confirm that the government has failed to adequately incentivize the private sector and stimulate the economy, particularly considering the prediction of an imminent slowdown in the global economy and a recession by 2020. Political rhetoric and spinning of obvious fact, she said, are not helpful to the plight of struggling Bahamians who live the reality of an increase in the unemployment rate. The DNA deputy maintains that deliberate action steps and initiatives have to be undertaken to achieve the desired and targeted growth levels, and that this must entail a combination of fiscal, monetary, and economic policies, as well as social reforms, as it is simply reckless and irresponsible to leave this to chance, luck, or coincidence. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.